Hey, what's up, everybody? Dr. Koana D here. Welcome into another Friday Live with Dr. Koana D on growing and scaling your small business. So, today we're going to be talking about building a network in government contracting, right? So, let me know as you're coming in where you're joining from, what type of business you have, and what does it mean for you to network, right? So I want to know what your concept of networking looks like, because today we're going to be talking about the importance of actually building out a network strategically so that you're able to connect with decision makers, collaborate strategically with partners, and conquer on winning government contracts. So we're going to show you why networking can help you do those three things: connect, collaborate, and conquer, right? So I want to say what's up to Danita from Memphis, Tennessee. Hello, Grace. Hello, Gloria. Hello, OT332 from Louisiana, my hometown. What's up, project manager? Okay, Janine White. Hello. Welcome in to the Friday Live. So today we're going to be talking about networking. I'm excited. Are you excited? So a lot of times the reason why, hey, good morning from California, Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany Bell. What's up from Cali, the West Coast, representing in the house today. So a lot of times I know that, people think that you can just jump into this field and actually be successful, like highly successful, and grow and scale a lucrative business in the realm of government contracting, like from your desk. And really, it's not really how it works, right? So, although there are a lot of things that you can do, there's a lot of things that you can absolutely do from home virtually when it comes to growing and scaling a business. You have to have your name in the rooms. You have to have your face in the rooms. You have to be into the right rooms to actually grow and scale exponentially, right? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Hello, Beverly from Chicago. Hi, Grace. Allegra. Hello. My Media Buzz TV. Hello. Latanya. Hello. Latanya. Good afternoon from Kentucky. So really it's all about networking, right? So if you all have a small business, let me know in the chat if you have a business already, right? Because this information is going to be very key in showing you exactly, especially if we're at, where we are right now is like the last quarter. It's time within the last quarter to really hone in and be very specific and intentional on the things that you're going to be doing and how you want to spend your time going into the new year. So networking and building out a networking is so very key and strategic. It has been very key for me. And this is the reason why I want to share this information today. So what's up, Philadelphia Women's Network? Hello. Coming in from Philly. Hey, so anyways, let me get out of the chat. But what's up, everybody, as you're coming in? So building a network, right? So strategically, there are some things. Like I remember when I first actually jumped into the government contracting space, I knew absolutely nobody, right? So I knew nobody. I knew no decision makers. I knew no people that I could partner with. I knew no prime, like I knew nobody at all that was actually doing what I was doing. And I started in a time where government contracting was not a buzzword. Like nobody knew that you can even do business with the government during that time, except for, the high level corporations, like, or people who are in different places that wasn't really on social media or on the internet talking about it at all. It was like their best kept secret. So that's the reason why I actually started the buzz of getting started with government contracting to quickly grow and scale your business, because I believe that it has been the most valuable information and the secret to actually growing and scaling a business. But not only that, to actually creating generational wealth. So let's just keep it real, right? When you're doing business with the number one player like the government, you are going to create some wealth, right? And so that's really that just what it is, right? So, but I absolutely, I didn't know anybody. So one of the things that has helped me to build a business on autopilot, land contracts without even having to do the work, eventually you will get there, even if you're just getting started, was just getting in the rooms. And so there are some very key strategic people that I want you to make a list of. These are the people that you must know, that you must get to know, that you must network with. And these are like some of the strategies that's going to help you really grow and expand and build your business like drastically in a very short period of time. So people who you should know. Who are some of those people? Like for me, like let me know in the comments, like who's currently in your network. What rooms are you currently in as well? Let me know in the comments that currently, like if you're a part of a network right now that's working for you, and if you've gotten value from that network, or if it's helped you to land some clients, some customers, let us know in the chat who are some of those networks are too. But I'm going to share with you just in the government contracting space. And this also can work for you regardless of what industry you're in or what you're looking to do with the government contracts that you're going to be landing. It can work for you too. So people that you need to know, decision makers. How many of you are either looking to grow your business with government contracts, or trying to figure out the steps to navigating government contracts, or just getting started with government contracts? Or maybe you've started a while back, a year or two, and you're still trying to figure out the steps, right? Who do you know? Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who do you know, right? That can help you get there faster. And so who are the decision makers? Have you ever asked yourself, well, I want to land contracts in, janitorial services. Who are the decision makers that actually says the yes or the no, right? For janitorial contracts, right? You need to know who these decision makers are. But backing up, Georgia Department of Transportation, Local Chamber of Commerce, and County Liaison. Yes, absolutely. LinkedIn user. So I think if you click on the StreamYard link, it'll show your name, but right now it just shows LinkedIn user. So hello, Sergeant T with the sauces. Hi. Trafinia, right? I think that's your name. I believe, I remember. So anyways, like who do you know? So first of all, just backing up a little bit, you want to know, and I believe I have a training on this somewhere on my YouTube channel, but I also covered this during my 5-day challenge where I show you like the numbers and the who's and stuff, who to connect with, right? So anyways, first of all, you want to know who is buying your stuff, right? Whether it's real estate that you're selling, whether it's janitorial services that you're selling or looking to sell, or communication or marketing services that you're looking to sell. Maybe you sell, media production or editing or some type of copywriting. So whatever type of service or product you actually are selling in your business, the first answer that you need to know, or the first question you should be asking yourself is who at the government is buying these things, right? Right? Because once you know the who, then you kind of can follow the money, right? Who's buying it? So, and where, right? What departments? These are things that you can actually research on. If you go to USA Spending, let me see if I can put it up on the screen. If you go to usaspending.gov, you can do a lot of that market research on your own. Who's buying my stuff and where, what department, what agency, what state, right? And so if you identify, like, let's just say the Department of Defense, or the Department of Forestry, or Department of Transportation, or Department of State, if you identify specific departments that have proven track records of purchasing what you sell, now you kind of know the who, right? These are the people. And then once you know, you've tracked it down by the who, what agency, what department, what region. Once you track it down to that, then you want to know who is the who within the who, right? Otherwise, who is the decision makers inside the Department of Defense, or inside the Department of State, or inside the Department of Forestry, or whatever? Who are those decision makers that are saying yes to businesses that are selling the same services that I buy, right? So you want to know who are the decision makers. So put that down, write that down. You want to know who the decision makers are, right? And you want the decision makers to know who you are. And and before you actually present yourself to a decision maker, you want to do like a quality audit check, right? Am I a premium entrepreneur? Am I operating as a CEO, executive assistant, or whatever, right? A chief executive operating person in my business, whatever. Am I appearing, like as a professional, right? Do I have all my ducks in order? Have I crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's? Do I have all of my documentation? Is it very clear what I'm selling to, what I'm looking to sell, and the value that I'm bringing to the table before I even approach the who? Decision makers, right? And who could be some of the decision makers? Well, it could be people who actually write the check, or people who are writing out the RFPs for a specific person that's getting ready to write the check or whatever, right? So, but you need to do the research and find out who the decision makers are. Where can you find the decision makers outside of, doing the research on usaspending.gov, going to do the research on fpds.gov? That stands for Federal Procurement Database System.gov. That's fpds.gov, right? Where can I find decision makers? On those particular sites, you can do the research. You can call the agencies. You can look at the point of contact on opportunities that you're finding on sam.gov. So those decision makers are they're very present. Like the information is accessible to you, but you got to do the work, right? So a lot of times people think that they can just do things behind the scenes and sit behind four walls closed in to grow a business. But I'm here to tell you that no, you need to get your name out. And people need to know your face, and they need to know, your personality, because people do business with people who they know, right? And so anyway, so one of the people that you need to know are the decision makers. That's how you do the research. Number 2 on the list of people that you need to know are procurement officers. Who are the officers? Who are the point of contacts? Who's actually doing the procurement, right? You need to know who these people are. How do you learn them? Who they are? Do the research. You got to do some research, right? Small business liaison. So every agency, every department at agencies, they normally have a small business liaison or a small business specialist at their agency who are there to actually advocate for you. They're actually there to make sure that the dollars that are set aside for your specific type of business is actually being used for your specific type of business. They're actually there to make sure that the information that's coming down the pipeline on opportunities that will be a perfect match for you, that you're actually getting the information. But if you don't know who they are and they don't know who you are, then the information is just missed. It's the missed opportunity, right? So you want to know who the small business liaisons are at these agencies, right? So that's another who you need to know. Another number three on my list are people that you need to know are prime contractors, right? So, hey, Alicia, hello, hi. Okay, so prime contractors. I want to share my screen really quick because I want to show you this right here. Let me see, share. Let's see. I think I got to bring it out here to share my screen. So you want to know who the primes are, right? That's very important. If you don't know already, because maybe you haven't been consuming my content where I share so much information that's valuable for you, intentionally, so that you can learn these things, right? There ideally are 3 ways to do government contracts. There are 3 ways, ideally, okay? The first way is you're the prime, right? You're doing direct sales to the government agency. This is where you are the prime contractor. This is where if you sell real estate, there's a real estate contract that's coming down the pipeline. You can directly go after that real estate contract because guess what? It falls directly in your wheelhouse. The second way to do business with the government is you're a subcontractor, right? You're a sub. That means, what does it mean to sub? That means there's a prime contractor that has a real estate contract, but maybe you do landscaping. And a part of the real estate contract includes landscaping, right? And you're a landscaping company. Now, under them, you can get the scope of work, a micro scope of work, that's very specific to what you do. You can't, as a landscape artist, you cannot go after a real estate contract per se, right? But you can partner with a realtor that's going after that contract so that they can give you a piece of the work, right? So those are Those are microscopes of work that you can do as a subcontractor. So that's the second way, right? First way is the prime. Second way is the sub. And the third way that's becoming more and more kind of like a open strategy, a easier way, faster way to access opportunities is you being a consultant, right? Consultant. And I'll explain what that means. So being a consultant just basically just means that you're the middleman, right? You're the middleman. This is the middleman strategy, right? And we teach basically in my 90-day accelerator, we teach all three of these strategies so you can choose or have a mix of all things going simultaneously so that you can really grow your company exponentially, right, in a very short period of time. So as a middleman, the consultant, basically you find a direct fulfillment company, and then here's you, and then you connect them with the government contracting opportunity, right? So you're the middleman that's connecting the government agency to the business that's going to do the work. And in the middle, you just make like a 20% markup just by being the pass-through person to make this relationship happen. So that is the consultant, right, perspective. Okay. So with that, am I still sharing my screen? I think I am. How do I stop sharing? Okay. So with that, are we clear, right? So are we clear about that, y'all? Just want to make sure y'all know. Okay. So prime contracting, subcontracting, and consultant, or AKA middleman strategy. Those are the three most popular common ways to actually do business with the government. Now, with that known, today is all about building a network in the government contracting space so that you can connect, collaborate, and conquer. So with that, who are the primes? Do you know who the prime contractors are? Have you identified, based on your specific scope of work, who is utilizing your scope of work that you need to know? You need to know these people, right? You need to know who they are. So for example, if you are a realtor, if you are in the real estate industry, right? Maybe you need to be connecting with developers. I don't know, right? Or if you are in landscape, maybe you need to be connecting with environmentalists, or connecting with demolitionists, or connecting with realtors and property managers so that you can actually get subcontracts with them. So you got to identify who the players are in your field, right? Above, like the one step above, the one person above what you're doing, right? You need to know who that person is. So if you are, let's just say, for instance, if you do have a janitorial company, right? Who else utilizes janitorial services, right? You need to be partnering up with general contractors who uses debris takeaway services, or recycling services, or janitorial or construction cleanup. Like, you need to know who these people are. So if you are a media producer, maybe you do photography, maybe you do video production, right? You need to know who the communication firms are, right? Because they utilizes your services. You need to know who the event planners, they utilizes some media photography services as well. You need to know that they are the primes, right? So if you don't know who the primes are near you, use Google. You can also search the certified business databases to see, well, who are the companies that are priming under certain NAICS codes or certain industries, right? And then you need to make a list of these people and start building relationships with them, because you need to know who they are. Because guess what? Most of the time, prime contractors, they are obligated. They have, like, the contracts that they're going after. Sometimes they have a utilization goal. And oftentimes, a lot of the prime contractors are larger firms that have a utilization goal that they got to use, got to scope it out. And sometimes the prime contractor could be a small business just like you, right? That don't want to do all the work themselves, because when you actually start building your business with government contracts, you will learn that it's better to do it collectively in partnerships, because guess what? You can go after more work, you can fulfill more faster, you can increase your capacity to go after larger projects. You can actually expand your business across the nation when you strategically partner. If you are looking to just do it all by yourself so you can get all the money, you will stay stuck. You will reach your max capacity in how many contracts you can go after because you're doing it all by yourself. And you will reach your max capacity at your ability to grow. You will eventually hit a ceiling unless you have gotten yourself out of the crab in the bucket mentality of just doing it all for yourself, by yourself, alone, right? Until you actually think about collective economics, right? Because you ideally, sometimes we think that, by partnering with other people, now I got to split the money. Well, by partnering with other people, now you actually get access to money that you probably wouldn't have gotten access to. So why not split it, right? And by partnering, because this opens up your business to so many different things, right? When you think from that perspective, because you can have multiple partners that are doing multiple projects simultaneously, right? Where maybe you're just doing a small scope of the work, but y'all all getting paid and y'all all get to participate on projects that becomes each one of your past performance and your experience individually, right? So we grow together. So this is the reason why I believe in not only sharing information that I think is valuable, but having you understand the importance of teamwork and collaboration, because they say teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork also helps you to grow and scale and build capacity and to expand nationally beyond where you're currently sitting right now, right? So it's very important. What are the certified business databases? Good question. So some of the certified business databases that you can look at for prime contractor or potential primes, right? So I'm gonna share my screen again. So one of those databases is the Dynamic Small Business Search System. I think it's called DSBSS or something like that. So if you go to sam.gov, or they have a Dynamic Small Business Search database of all federally certified firms, and you can actually search them by keyword, the service that they provide, or you can search them by the NAICS codes, and it'll come up. So another place where you can go to find who the potential primes are. I'm gonna coach y'all just a little bit. Is it okay if I coach y'all just a little bit? Just a little bit. I'm gonna share with y'all some information. So if you go to this website as well, usaspending.gov, and do some award search data. So basically, if you do some award search, you can actually look at all fiscal years, and you can just kind of say, hey, I'm looking for, not recipient type, but I'm looking for prime contractors on construction. Let's just say that. So let's see what that code is going to be. And the code is going to come up, construction. Let's see, building. I don't know what the construction NAICS code is, but it will come up. It's a little bit slow right now. Oh, code or name. Okay, so, general contractors, contract. General contractors, that's the name. Let's see, general, this. Actually, let's do this. NAICS for construction. So let's say, for instance, this is a NAICS code. I don't know why nothing's coming up. Maybe am I under the right? Okay. So basically, let's just say, I don't know what the contractor's code is, but let's just say, for instance, janitorial. That keyword should come up unless there's a problem with this system today, which also can happen. Janitorial. Okay. So if I do janitorial services, right? Say, for instance, maybe maybe you are a landscaping person, right? Or maybe you do recycling, or maybe you sell cleaning products, right? And so from there, you're like, who buys my stuff, or who else utilizes my stuff that I can partner with that could potentially be a prime? Well, as a person who does landscaping, sell cleaning products, or maybe you do power washing or something like that, a janitorial firm could be one of your primes, or even a general contractor could be one of your primes. So you want to look up prime. So here we have under the table, it'll bring up all of the prime awards. So it says spending by Prime Awards. These are prime contractors that have all been awarded contracts under that specific NAICS codes, or whoever that prime code is, whatever that prime code is that you're looking at. These are all companies, right? So Dale Rogers, JJ May, there's a whole host of them. In fact, there are over 5,000 contracts. There's over 68,482 contracts. So this database is huge, right? And so you can actually export this information. So if you go to this business, click on one of the business, it's going to give you their contact information, where they're located, all that stuff. And you can actually get their phone number and just call them or email them, find an email on them. But I always recommend that you call before you email, because, people like doing business with people who they can hear, touch, all that stuff. So, anyway, it's going to give you information of how much in contracts they've been awarded over a certain period of time, how many contracts, and that kind of can give you the value. Like if you divide 197 million into 305 transactions, you'll kind of get the average of their contractual size. But also it kind of gives you, like, over these past years, how much money they've gotten on the federal level, right? And then who they've gotten the money from and all that stuff. So it gives you a lot of information that you can dive into. But here's the deal. It gives you, like, their address. So with this information, you can combine that information and look up that information on Google, find a number, give them a call and say, hey, I'm a landscape artist. I see that you provide janitorial services, or whatever the prime is, right? Construction services, you're a general contractor or whatever. And I would like to I'm looking for opportunities for a subcontractor that specializes in the scope of landscaping, right? I'm a certified, this is how you're pitching yourself. Like, you got to have game, right? For yourself, right? You're bringing you're talking about the value that you have. Like, I'm a certified woman-owned landscaping company. I have X, Y, and Z certifications. So if there's any projects that you have to utilize those certifications, hey, I would like to be a part of your team. Are there any opportunities that you can scope out just that landscape scope for me, right? And then follow up and build through, right? Build that relationship and follow through with it, right? And so that's how you basically do a little bit of research. USAspending.gov, like, all that information, the dynamic small business name search, all of that information, get that list. I mean, the opportunities are endless when you think about it. Like, who do I need to know aside from, no, you don't necessarily have to have those certifications, right? So, but good question, Philadelphia Women's Network. If you don't have those certifications, it's okay, right? You can just let them know, here's the value that I bring to the table. Now, here's why, if you don't have the certifications and you do qualify for those socioeconomic disadvantages, here's why I say you need to do it. You need to get them, right? Because it can give you leverage, especially if there's a prime contractor that has like a $10-20 million contract or whatever. Maybe it's a general contractor, right? They have a $20 million contract, but like 15% of that spend has to be utilized with women-owned, minority-owned businesses, right? What's 15% of 20 million? That's 2 million, that's like 3 million, right? Or so, right? Just doing the numbers off the top of my mind. That's $3 million that's on the table if you have those certifications. And they have to use you. So they're like, why not get the certification so you can use it as leverage, right? So no, you don't have to have certifications to do business with the government or to land subcontracts. But yes, it will give you leverage, especially if you can qualify for those certifications. It can give you that leverage. So say that general contractor has a utilization goal. Why would they pick a person who don't have the certification over the person who does, right? Knowing the goal is the way that they can actually get the contract, they're going to automatically first go to the person who can help them meet their goal versus going to the person who's just on their team just because they do the service, right? So that's where the value of having those certifications come into play. So if you qualify for any of them, I highly recommend. And there are, like, regardless of if you're a minority or not, there are certifications that you can still qualify for, even for non-minorities, right? So there's the disadvantaged businesses that don't have no color attached to it. There's the small business in general. There's the local business certifications. There's LGBT. There's all different type of certifications that are out there. Hub Zone 8A that everybody can qualify for. So again, it gives you the leverage, right? So you want to have leverage. So you want to bring value to everybody that you're asking for a piece of the pie, right? You want to bring value because, I mean, of course, you can say, I have the best quality service and, we have 24-hour emergency services. We have all this stuff. But how do you add more value, especially to somebody that has to fulfill on the utilization goal? Well, you help them meet that goal too. So not only can I help you deliver on this service and provide the emergency 24-hour service, but I also, on top of that, right, I'm adding fries to that shake. I'm adding this additional value of having a certification so you can check the box so that you can get the contract and we can all win together, right? So anyways, so if that was like your hang up, go get them. So if that was your hang up, go get them. So you need to know who the prime contractors are. And that's how you do some of the those are like some of the places where you can find out who the prime contractors are. You can also go through like the DBE database for your state. Like they have a list of certified DBE firms. You can go through the certified local businesses in your city. They have a list of all the certified local businesses, right? Information is everywhere. It's just like, where do you go to get the information? You just got to think about how to extract the information from the places where it already exists, right? You don't have to make it up. You don't have to figure it out. The information is already out there, right? So Morpheus, hello, good question. How do we obtain those certifications? That's a whole nother training. We could talk about that certifications all day. Like, but in short, how do you obtain it? You go to the city, you go to the state, you go to sam.gov, right? So that's federal certifications, state certifications, local certifications. And then there's also other third-party agencies that does additional certifications for minorities and for women. And so you got to do the research, right? Again, if you have not, I have a 5-day challenge where I kind of walk you through this, and we have more time together. But in the short time that I have on here, I don't have time to go into trainings on every single thing, but I can give you a general idea. So if you're interested in joining the 5-day challenge, you will go to govconchallenge.com. And what we do is we answer those questions, especially if you join as VIP, you actually get to be consulted. Like you get to actually be consulted to by myself personally if you join as VIP, because we'll have an hour before where you can ask specific questions about your business. So it's always value to join as VIP versus just being a fly on the wall and just in the room getting information. But I don't know if the information is resonating with you based on where you are in your business unless you ask questions, right? So go to govconchallenge.com, register as VIP, right? So you'll get a lot of value out of just being VIP. Okay. But the other question was, I'm African-American. This is by Morpheus. Hi, Morpheus. I'm African-American disabled veteran and wondering if there are any advantages for me. So if you're African-American, there's an advantage, right? If you're a veteran, there's an advantage. If you're a disabled veteran, that's also an advantage. So absolutely. Even if you're just a small business, it doesn't matter what your race, color, creed, sex, all that stuff doesn't even matter. There are so many advantages just doing business with the government that a lot of people are sitting on. Like, why are you sitting on opportunities that are here? Like, why are you sitting on the opportunity to change your life? Why are you sitting on the opportunity to create wealth for yourself and your family? Because this one contract, like this one client, which is called the government, this one client, I'm telling you, one of my colleagues that I probably talked about this before landed a $1.6 million contract just to teach them leadership and development. Hello, somebody. What can that type of revenue do for you in your business where you are and your family right now? Right? So that's millions of dollars that you're sitting on because you don't want to learn the process. You don't want to figure out who can help you learn the process. You don't want to do the paperwork to get your certifications. It's anti-business, right? It's the opposite of actually doing business if you're not doing this stuff, right? To me, in my mind, at least that's how I think, right? So anyways, so you say you have the certification, you just need to get the contracts. Yeah. So there's a strategy, right? Knowledge is so powerful. A lot of times when people that don't, so here's the thing. There's a lot of times people that don't get the contracts because they don't know how, or they don't know what to do or how to execute on that, right? So this is where education and knowledge, coaching, training, like all that stuff can help you fill that gap so you can actually get the results, right? Rather than just sitting around not knowing, right? That doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve you, right? To just not know. And then the other thing is, yeah, so that's one of the biggest hurdles that I see, just people just not knowing, which is, you got to execute on obtaining the right proper information, right? And then there's a lot of people who have certifications and are not doing anything with it. Why? Because again, lack of knowledge. They don't know how to leverage it. They don't know none of these things. So this is the reason why I'll pop on and, just share some knowledge. But even though, like, I have 22 years of knowledge, I can't share all of that, everything that I know, 22 years in like a 30-minute segment, right? But in working directly with me, of course, like, you get the step-by-step breakdown and stuff like that. So anyways, who else besides Prime Contractors do you need to know? Other people in your field, right? So I love this right here. Like, this is one of my biggest like breakthroughs right here. So, and I didn't even realize it, but a lot of times I'm gonna draw this bucket. A lot of times, and these are crabs. These are crabs in a bucket. A lot of times, like, I realized some very short years ago, not even like probably like 4 years ago, I realized that I was swimming in a pool with actually I wasn't swimming in a pool. I used to be in this pool, this bucket of crabs, right? These are people that are like small-minded, they're like, they don't want to share information. They withhold information that could really help somebody else, right? Because they're like, I'm just keep it to myself, or I got wins, and I'm just keep it to myself, or maybe you know somebody who needs a service, somebody who provide that service, and you don't want them to link up because you don't want that part. It's just like crab in a bucket mentality. So I realized that a long time ago there was somebody, I'm not gonna say any names, that did this exact same thing that I do. Exact same, like photography, video production, media editing, podcasts, all this stuff, TV shows, like did the exact same thing that I did. And I'm like, hey, I'm getting all this information that I'm learning about contracting with the government. Let me mentor you. Let me show you how to do this for free. By the way, specifically because you look like me, we come from the same neighborhood, and I see you doing it all wrong, right? So I'm over here, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to show you how to get out of this bucket. And this person let me know that he was in the bucket, because I didn't even know he was in the bucket, specifically because there was a company that was like, hey, I want you to do photography for me. So here's my camera. I want Kawana to do photography for me. Can you give me her number? Right. And so this person was like, no, whatever she's going to charge you, I can do it like 100 times less, which they didn't even have no money anyway. I can do it 100 times less, right? Crab in the bucket mentality. This is not my customer. I am going after government contracts. These are the $1 million, the $250,000, the $100,000 clients, not the $600 client. You can have that, right? So now I said all that to say you can have that, right? So the crab in the bucket mentality don't serve anybody, right? It doesn't serve anybody. So I said all that to say that is, who else do you need to know are people who do exactly what you do. Why? Because these contracts are so lucrative and so large. The more you give, the more you receive. Hello, somebody. It's in the word, right? Giving is the way to receiving. You sow seeds, you reap harvest, right? All that stuff, right? So I believe in shared economics, sharing information, because it comes back around, right? The more that you become a blessing to other people, the more you will be blessed, period. It's just like, as far as I've seen, it's always worked that way for me. As far as I know, it's always worked that way for everybody who lives off those giving principles, right? It's always worked that way. Thank you. Thank you. So it's always worked that way, right? So anyways, I said, so this is the reason why if you're a caterer, you need to know who all the other caterers are, right? If you're a hairstylist, you need to know who all the other hairstylists are, not because they're your competitors, but they are potential partners that can help you go after these 10 million, $20 million, $100 million contracts that's on the table for your business. You can't do that as a single solopreneur trying to keep all the money to yourself. So with that said, you also need to know who else is doing what I do that I can partner with, because we can build each other's capacity, right? So now I go from the singlepreneur who has a maybe a $200,000 contract by myself, and now I can go after a $500,000 contract because I partner with this other person that does exactly what I do, but they have a team of 4. So between them, their 4 team plus the owner, that's 5. Then me. Now we 6. We 6 deep. 6 deep on this, right? So it helps you build capacity, and you can go after larger contracts. And instead of you having to do all the fulfillment yourself, now you have a team, right? So teamwork really does make the dream work. Now, where do you go to find the people who do exactly what you do? Same resources, right? SAM.gov, the Dynamic Small Business Name Search, that database, right? Same USAspending.gov. Those people that you saw, the recipients, they do exactly what you do. That's your list. It's like thousands, tens of thousands of people that are out there that you can partner with, right? Thank you, Keisha. So where else? The same databases where people are certified locally to do business with the local government that do exactly what you do. Extract that data. Those are the people that you want to potentially build those relationships. Those are the people you need to partner with. If it's just you and your circle, then you're doing the wrong thing. You ain't growing fast enough, right? So here's how networking and building out these teams for me has really helped my business to take off. I get posted on contracting opportunities that I didn't even know I'm posted on, and now I'm a sub. And they'll just call me like, "Hey, I added you to my list because I know what you do, right? It's good. Like, just tell me how much money you want." Like, so that stuff will happen because you've built value, you've built relationships, and y'all are helping each other go after these opportunities. Okay, so that's the who. These are some of the people that you need to know, right? People in your field. Some of the other things that specific networking events that you can attend or should be attending if you're not already, right? These are the events to attend. So write this down. Number 1, pretty much every government agency has their own internal events that are called Meet the Primes. These are people that they've been giving large contracts to for years, that have obligations to do business with smaller firms, either in joint ventures, partnerships, or subcontracting out some of the work, right? So these Meet the Prime events that your agencies are having, you should be there, right? Because it's like they have a whole host of people that come that are prime contractors that have tables that have been doing business with these agencies forever, and they want to know who the subcontractors are, who the small people are that they can utilize and that they can leverage their time, because it saves them time when you're doing the work too, right? And then basically it saves them time by partnering with you to do the work, and it can save you time by partnering with other people to do the work. So it's just like everybody's helping each other. Yeah, absolutely. So Meet the Prime events, those are great events to attend. Pre-bid events, pre-proposal conferences. Like, here's a proposal that's happening. Before the proposal is due, we're having this conference, whether mandatory or just recommended. We're having this conference. At those events, you get to find out who the players are that's actually in the field getting contracts, that's actually in the field bidding. You get to know who the subs are, because they have to sign in. They have a sign-in sheet. They say, "Hey, I'm looking to sub. I'm looking to sub." Or on that sign-in sheet, they're like, "Hey, I'm priming. I'm looking for subs," right? So you actually get access to that list when you're in the room. And not only do you get access to the list, you find out who the decision makers are, the procurement officers, they're in the room. You get to find out who the prime contractors are, who could potentially help you, get subcontracts on other things outside of that particular opportunity. And you can find out who's doing exactly what you can do, that you can potentially build a relationship and partner with. So it's a lot of value in those rooms, right? So Meet the Prime events are important. And trade associations. What industry are you in? For every industry, there's some type of trade association that is there, that exists, right? So for instance, There, like for me, I'm in the media industry. So one of the trade associations is, I think it's called PPA, Professional Photographers of America. It's a trade association. It's a membership. Every year they have a huge networking event, at least 4 times a year, where you can go and meet other photographers. That's a room to be in. But I also I know that I can bring value to general contractors who actually uses multimedia producers and communication firm producers and outreach firms and public relation firm. They utilizes those services. So the General Contractors of America Association, they have events where all of these prime contractors are in the room. So it's important that you become a part of a trade association where you think there's going to be people who do what you do, and maybe put people who are prime contractors who utilizes what you do in the room, right? You're in my industry, Dr. Nee. Trade associations, right? Who else? Chambers of commerce, right? We sleep on that a lot, but a lot of times there are like local city or even regional chambers. There's the National Chamber of Business, Chamber of Commerce, where there's a lot of who's and who's, right? There's a lot of people in the room, right, that you can connect with. There are specific organizations that have like just women-owned businesses that are high-level executives that you can get in the rooms with, that you can potentially partner with or go after contracts. Like there's so many different ways for you to build out your network, you guys. When you actually build a network in government contract, and like you can create a whole database, prime contractors, agency contacts, right? Subcontracting opportunities, potential partner, like you create your whole database. That within itself is so much valuable. It's so valuable, y'all. So when you build a network in government contracting, the opportunities become limitless. You're able to connect with the decision makers. You can collaborate with strategic partners, right? So y'all can make some money together. And in this, you can actually conquer not only your dreams, but you can conquer government contracting and you can win. Like this is just a tool. Government contracting is just a tool to fuel the money, right? Let me and I want y'all to see what this looked like in real life, in real time. Government contracting is a great way for you to fuel a whole lot of money, boatload of money from the government to you. That's it, right? And leveraging your business, right? To do that. So the money comes directly from the government. So if the government makes the money, so this is them. They're making the money, they're printing the money, new problems are happening, they're signing new bills that's going to have more money, and all this other stuff is happening. And guess what they're doing? Like a percentage of this is always coming down to the little guys. That's us. Hey, we could be little all day because only this particular pipeline is for the little guys. So yeah, I want to be in this pipeline, and there's literally hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and even billions of dollars that's coming down this pipeline to the little guys. So when you're able to create a network around getting access to people strategically that can help you fuel even more of this money, this is what your network can allow you to do, right? So we have prime contracting networks, right? That's fueling more money into your business, right? Then we have the subcontracting opportunities or joint ventures or potential partnerships that's fueling even more money back into your business. And then you have like decision makers at agencies. That particular network can help you identify opportunities because you're on their radar, right? Identify sole source opportunities because you're on the radar and they know what you do and the value that you bring that's fueling even more money to you and your business. And then what you do with all this money that you've accumulated because of this amazing networking system that you've created. Well, this is now wealth. This is what your life can look like after you've done the work. So if you're sitting behind your computer and thinking that everything is just going to happen for you passively, no, it's time to get up. It's time to get out. It's time to network. It's time to go. Like some things you can do online virtually, like the research and the data, but you got to get in the rooms, right? You want them to know who you are, what you do, and the value that you bring. And even before your business take off on autopilot, which at some point it will, initially you got to create the momentum by getting yourself out. So go connect, collaborate, but most of all, conquer in the space of government contracts. So you in turn can actually create wealth for yourself and wealth for your family, and grow a thriving business and build that legacy. So that's it for me for today, y'all. I hope this has been valuable for you. Of course, be sure to share this out, right? This is going to remain on YouTube. Share it out, like my channel, subscribe to my channel, all that stuff. But share this information with other people. Share the channel, right? We're also launching our YouTube. Thank you, great, thank you, Philadelphia. Look, it sounds like that's a network, Philadelphia Women's Network Connection. It sounds like a place to go network with other women in Philly, right? So so share this information out. We're actually creating a YouTube members community where we're going to have some little perks and stuff if you join the community. I think it's like $4 a month or something like that. So you got to click around somewhere. I don't know exactly how this all works, but we're learning. But in that community, we're going to have a lot of little perks and stuff like that, little cheat sheets and stuff like that for you guys. So anyways, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll check you all next time. All right.